Okay, welcome back, and once again, I'm going to be recommending, reviewing, and recapping 3 different animes. So it's sort of like a mixture of all 3. I'm also thinking of coming up with some sort of rating system that I can give for every single anime that I recommend. But, we'll see how that goes. So without further ado, let's get on with the video, but please remember to like and subscribe. So the first anime I'm going to review is Fate Strange Fake. This is a story that's set in America where a powerful and dangerous event called the Holy Grail War begins again, and in this war, a powerful magician called Masters summoned legendary heroes from history and mythology called servants, and the pairs fight each other for the chance to win the Holy Grail, which is a magical object that can supposedly grant any wish. But this time, the war is not normal. It's a fake version created from an imperfect copy of the actual ritual, so things start going wrong immediately. Strange servants appears, the rules don't work the way they should, and powerful organizations secretly interfere with the war. Already within the first episode, the anime mainly sets up the world and players in the war, and we already see how the US government is already playing a huge role in this entire series already. And at the same time, investigators and magicians realize that the Holy Grail War is already different from the previous ones. And it's already clear that this fake war might become even more dangerous and unpredictable than the real one. So I'm sure by now, a lot of you are already familiar with the Fate series. I mean, there's Fate Zero, there's Fate Stay Night, and there's a couple of other Fates. So I wouldn't say that this is like a continuation, because every single Fate series can be watched from that one, but it all kind of has the same structure. But if you're not familiar with it, every single Fate series kind of has the same structure with the Holy Grail War and whatnot, but it's not necessarily a continuation. Sometimes it is, but you don't have to start all the way from the beginning, which I believe might be Fate Zero. You don't really have to start all the way from there. You can watch any of them from any point. And the thing that is really good about this series is the fight scenes and animation. I mean, it's been known that to be the thing with the Fate series. I mean, I remember the time that Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, they used to call that Unlimited Budget, because the animation, even for its time, which was in like 2017, I think, the animation is insane. The fight scenes are insane. That there's really not that many animes besides the big ones that could really stay to par with this, which is kind of shocking, because the name itself, it's not like the biggest anime out. It's really popular, but it's not necessarily always the biggest one. But the animation and the fight scenes are always top notch. So I would just about recommend this series. The next anime I'm going to review is Yakuza Fiancé. This is a story about a girl who grew up in a powerful Yakuza family but actually wants to live a normal, peaceful life. Her grandfather suddenly arranges a political style marriage between her and a boy who comes from another major Yakuza family in Tokyo. And the girl moves from Osaka to Tokyo to live with him, expecting a dangerous gangster type boyfriend, but at first he seems surprisingly kind, calm, and almost too perfect. But as the story goes on, she realizes that he's really not normal at all, and he hides a much darker and more unpredictable personality underneath his polite behavior. So this series basically mixes romance, dark humor, and crime drama while showing that the complicated lives of people who are born in the Yakuza world. This is not the first time we've seen a plot similar to this, not really that unique, but this actually is pretty good. Compared to all of the other animes that have this sort of arranged marriage, we've all seen it before with this sort of plot. It'll usually go something like there's a new character or a new person in school or something like that, and then they don't get along or something, but then at the end they find out that like their parents or whatever are getting married and now they have to be like close. We've all seen that anime plot line, and this is not that. This actually just does it justice because it doesn't really follow all of those other anime series. So, I can't really say much about it. I actually haven't finished it yet, but so far from what I've seen, I am pretty impressed by it. So I would also just about recommend this anime. The next anime I'm going to review is Lookism. This is a story about a high school student who is constantly bullied because of his appearance. He is overweight, considered an unattractive, basically creature, and treated badly at school because others judge him only by his looks. And one day his life suddenly changes when he mysteriously wakes up in a second body that is tall, extremely handsome, and physically perfect. So right off the bat, you kind of get the vibe that this anime is really like a social experiment, or displaying what this sort of social experiment would be like. The strange part is that he can switch between these two bodies. When one body falls asleep, he wakes up in the other. Using this new attractive body, he transfers to a new school and starts experiencing life completely differently because people now treat him with respect and admiration. So basically, this anime explores how society treats people who are physically attractive versus not, and it really shows you that difference and just how much your life can change if something like this were to actually happen. I've actually talked about this anime before, and I did rewatch it. And something that I didn't bring up before for some reason is that this is a Korean anime. And on the second watch, I did, really notice that, okay, it's a Korean anime, so you really not gonna hear about it at all. It's also a Netflix anime, and you know how they under promote those on Netflix. So sometimes it really doesn't even feel like an anime that much at all, honestly. But I did find the concept itself really interesting. The one thing I will judge about this series though is that while the concept itself is very interesting, you might notice at some points that the plot itself though is just very, very surface level. It doesn't really go into too deep into anything, but even then I would still just about recommend Lookism. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Remember to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Lights are red and there's sweat on your